Good evening, a brand new week. Welcome to the broadcast. You're watching EBN Prime Edition on this 10th day of July 2023. We're glad that you've made time for us tonight. We're coming to you live from Kenya's capital. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. Here are stories making headlines tonight. Court deals blow to government as the Finance Act 2023 signed by President William Ruto remains suspended. A walk, matatu and breakfast inside Raila Odinga's busy day at the Central Business District. Nairobi County Governor Johnson Sakaja launches a digital land registry to improve land registry and transactions. Let's get started. Tonight, the High Court Justice Mugure Thande has declined to set aside orders on the Finance Bill 2023. The judge ruled that the petitioners have proved that they have a case, adding that if the orders were to be lifted, the public stands to suffer. The judge further directed that the file be forwarded to the Chief Justice Martha Koome to appoint a 3-judge bench who will hear and determine the matter. In the case, Busia Senator Okiya Omtata and others moved to court to challenge the Finance Bill 2023, saying that it is unconstitutional. The state, through the Attorney General lawyers led by Githu Muigai, wanted the orders granted 2 weeks ago lifted. Roifan Shikuku reports.
High Court today affirmed protective orders suspending enforcement of Finance Act 2023 pending litigation. In his decision, Judge Mugure Thande has rejected the government's application which aimed to cancel the order he had issued to suspend the law. Judge Thande says the government did not give sufficient reasons to require him to terminate the orders.
The matter before me is a challenge on the constitutionality of a statute. According to the respondents, it is tried jurisprudence at every statute.
In addition, the judge has indicated that he does not want to discuss the legality of the case, but has warned that if the orders are not maintained, there is a risk of invalidating the case and professional practice. Last week, the Supreme Court extended the protective orders suspending the implementation of the Finance Act 2023 for 5 more days.
Public interest requires that this court must discharge its constitutional mandate of protecting the supremacy of the Constitution by ensuring that all laws conform to the Constitution.
Okiya Omtata rejected the implementation of the finance law on the basis that the Senate was not involved in passing the controversial law. Omtata had also brought a contempt petition against the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority (EPRA), which he wanted to appear in contempt of court for implementing the new fuel price, despite the implementation of the law being suspended by the court.
Many provisions which concern county governments, including the contentious housing issue, but they were not taken to the Senate. And in evidence, I produced a letter from the Speaker of the Senate to the Speaker of the National Assembly complaining as to how the Senate had been sidelined in the process, yet there were issues like even housing concerned the Senate.
President William Ruto ascended Finance Bill 2023 into law on Monday, June 26, 2023. The judge has also delivered the file to Chief Justice Martha Koome to form a panel of 3 judges to hear the petition. The order has been moved forward while the case continues to be heard and reviewed.
Pursuant to Article 165(4), this matter is certified as raising a substantial question of law, and the file is hereby transmitted to the Honorable Chief Justice for assignment of a bench of not less than 3 judges to hear and determine the petition. No order as to costs.
For EBN TV, I'm Roifan Shikuku.
Now, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions has ordered the immediate release of the 73 individuals who were arrested during the Saba Saba demonstrations on July 7, 2023. This comes just 2 days after former Chief Justice Willie Mutunga and Azimio lawyers were met with tear gas at the Central Police Station when they demanded the release of the suspects. The decision to release them was reached after consultations between Azimio lawyers and the prosecution, during which it was decided that no charges will be filed against the arrested individuals. Milimani Chief Magistrate Lucas Onyina instructed State Prosecutor Anderson Gikunga to inform the officer in charge of the court cells about the decision.
Together with my senior and colleagues since about 10 a.m. But we have conferred with the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, and they've assured us that the 73 suspects who are in the cells will not be charged. Now, Your Honor, you cannot possibly record something without a file. But the prosecution and the learned prosecutor is an officer of the court, just as we are. And therefore, if he restates what we have been told out there, like the Bible says, our hearts shall heal. And we'll be happy to go down to the cells and proceed. Thank you, Your Honor.
You are my children. Yes, Your Honor, I accompany the Honorable all the
Cabinet Secretary for Interior, Professor Kithure Kindiki, has warned those planning to protest on Wednesday this week that they will face the full force of the law. Kindiki said the security agencies have been instructed to enforce the law with force in dealing with those who threatened to make the country unsustainable through chaos and theft. The Cabinet Secretary says 6 people died on Friday during a large protest called by the opposition. Many people were injured and property was destroyed. According to the CS, although the government will not interfere with the right to demand or picket peacefully, such protests must be peaceful and the protesters must be unarmed. He spoke in Igoji Sub-County, Meru County, during the inauguration of the operation of the sub-county and the installation of Zuhura Riga as the first deputy commander.
Jaribu kuleta mabadiliko ya kiuchumi ili kuteremusha hizi bei. Kwa sababu inaumiza wananchi. Hakuna mtu anakataa. Dawa ni sawa, upinzani, semeni, labda muko na uhuru ya kusema, harakisheni, mnachelewa. Hiyo ni sawa. There's nothing wrong with that. Lakini kuchukua mawe, uende ufunge barabara ambayo inasafirisha abiria. Mtu anapeleka vitu yake sokoni, unafunga barabara, unawasha moto, unaenda pale, unaibia duka ya mtu ambaye hana hatia, anatafutia watoto wake riziki, unatoka hapo, unasema tuendeni mjini katikati, unavuruga amani, unachoma magari ya watu ambao wamenunua magari kupitia loan. Hatutakubali tabia kama hiyo. Na mimi nataka niwahakikishie, hatutakubali tena katika mchanga wa Kenya maandamano ya kuvuruga watu, kuua watu na kuharibu biashara za watu. We will not allow. We will not allow.
Now, a matatu ride, breakfast with Nairobians at a coffee shop, and a walk in the hustle bustle of the Central Business District. Opposition leader Raila Odinga's Monday in the capital was quite unusual. Monday's events in the city were a stark contrast to Friday's Sabasaba protest, which the opposition leader called to picket against the high cost of living. Odinga led a rally at Kamukunji grounds where police engaged in running battles with protesters, and in the melee that ensued, dozens were arrested and one of his cars damaged.
Ili Wakenya wanania, tatu Wakenya wana uwezo ya kuleta mabadiliko hali ya maisha yao. Sivyo? Gharama maisha imepanda. Tuliambia Ruto usiongeze mzigo zaidi. Punda imechoka. Amekataa kusikia. Mambo ya finance bill mpaka itolewe, sio? Pili tulimwambia mambo ya Sava. Tatu mambo ya IBC. IBC. 4, mambo ya vyama, kununua wabunge wetu na ma-MCAs mpaka ikome, sawa. Sasa tutasanya masahihi milioni 15 ya kutoa imani kwa serikali bandia ya Ruto na Gachagua.
Elected leaders from Gem constituency in Siaya County have maintained their full support to the Orange Democratic Movement Party despite snubbing last week's Sabasaba demonstrations called by the opposition. Gem Member of Parliament Elisha Odhiambo and members of the Siaya County Assembly Seth Baraka Ochieng of East Gem, Silas Madingo of Central Gem and Brian Ocheng Anyango Obiero of South Gem told a congregation at Owila Church of Christ in Africa in Gem constituency that they were committed to the unity of both the constituency and Siaya County at large. And on the material day, they were in a meeting aimed at championing reconciliation between the Governor James Orengo and the legislator Odhiambo. Addressing the media after the service, the leaders called for reconciliation amongst Siaya leaders, adding that hardline tones adopted by some of them would negatively affect service delivery in the county.
Raila is our father and we highly respect him. To me, Raila himself crowned me back to ODM. And I said I'll never ever betray Raila. I'm moving towards his cause. The only problem is that I was going to join him in Mandamano in Nairobi. Fortunately enough, I also met my MP, whom I purposed to meet with. And I think so far, everything is okay. Elisha has also promised to reach to Orengo, who is our governor, so that as a people of Siaya, we work as a united team and work strongly enough to strengthen ODM.
I'm looking at fostering unity in Gem. I'm looking at ensuring that any outsider meddling in Gem affairs should be kept aside. But as a people of Siaya, I'm asking of the governor to adopt a more conciliatory tone so that they can work with the dual. I think Senate pronounced itself. I think it's just important to reconcile ourselves to the realities on the ground that we were elected to perform and deliver to the people of Siaya. I, as the MP for Gem, I work with all my MCAs to ensure that service delivery to those who elected us gets to the very best.
I think we've started a journey and we resolved amongst us that we fought for 1 year, almost a year. Our MP has been having wars with the governor, but yet we are expected as ODM elected candidates to work together. How are we going to achieve unity in a game? We have given our MP a condition. We as small streams, we have come down for peace. And we want him also to go down and access the governor so that we can sit down as the people of Gem and at least initiate a project that will help our people. This has been misunderstood. It is true we have had a meeting and we have decided to approach our MP. We have been having fights here up and down. We are tired of these fights.
The bone of contention here has been an issue of trying to create harmony between the office of the MP and that of our officers as MCAs. Really, we admire this when we see it happening in other constituencies. And we felt like, when we fight as leaders, it is our people who are getting hurt. So the smaller streams had to run to the bigger stream. And in this case, we as MCAs were the smallest streams here. So we came as 4 of us, we went to our MP, we spoke with him, requested, should we, we tried to plead with him if we had any problems, maybe we iron out our differences for the betterment of our people. But again, we even insisted and requested that with the same spirit we started as small leaders, he should also emulate and go to our governor so that they can correct their differences if there is any.
Back to the capital city, Nairobi County Governor Johnson Sakaja has launched a digital land registry in Dandora. The digitization is aimed at giving other landowners title deeds in order to improve collection of revenue by more people paying land rates. Governor Sakaja said in a week's time he will have put CCTV cameras all over to protect the records that have been an issue in Dandora and county registry offices. Nairobi City County Built Environment Sector recently embarked on renovations and modernization of the Dandora Lands Registry with an aim of improving management of land records and transactions and also improve the working environment by restoring order and dignity for the officers working in the registry.
And that directive is clear. We want to cover, of all our properties, only 11% have been titled. You know, it is really a shame. You know, the public land that is titled is very small. Ndio maana unaona wezi wa mashamba, watu wana encroach kwa mashule. And I want to really thank SG and Cecilia, because we were able to issue 2,000 titles 2 weeks ago. Asanteni sana. Having been able to issue those titles, even to our schools, we gave 45 schools their titles. Ili board ya shule iwe na copy, unajua shamba yetu inaanzia hapa mpaka hapa. Ili wale wakora wa kuiba shamba za shule watafute kwingine, sio Nairobi. And so thank you for doing that. Thank you for your industry. Thank you for your commitment to provide a lasting solution to issues relating to ownership of land in Nairobi, because these issues always arise. With the national government, we've also concluded 2,000 titles for Embakasi Ranching. Yes. And those ones we will issue together with the president this week. People who've stayed for years, for decades, without their ownership document. Hawezi pata loan kwa bank, hawezi pata support yoyote, umekaa na wasiwasi, hawezi jenga kitu permanent, unafikiri kesho utafukuzwa. We want to give you the dignity of the sanctity of a title deed.
A Limuru court in Kiambu County has released on bail 2 suspects who are managers of the Limuru Dairy Company who are accused of harassing menstruating women employees. The decision has been given by Senior Judge Jared Omagori, who has released them on a bond of 300,000 Kenyan shillings each and a guarantor of that amount, or 150,000 in cash. However, Magori has opposed the request of the Chief Prosecutor Felix Mutua to request that the suspects continue to be detained for 10 days until he completes his investigation. It is a decision that the lawyers and the prosecutor in the case have embraced, while the suspects are ordered to report to the police officers twice a week. Currently, the case will be mentioned on 24th of this month.
For a suspect to continue being detained, I'm not satisfied on a balance of probabilities that there exists any compelling reason for the suspect's respondents to continue being detained in custody and to be denied bond. There are no compelling reasons as per the affidavit shown by the investigating officer and the submissions by the prosecution. The application is therefore disallowed. Each of the suspects is admitted to a bond of 300,000 shillings with one surety of similar amount, or a cash bail of 150,000 shillings, pending the approval of the charges to be preferred and taking of plea, and the suspect's respondents, upon being released on bond or cash bail, to report to the Sub-County Criminal Investigations Officer twice a week on every Thursday and Monday. This case will be mentioned on the 24th of July this year to confirm whether the suspects would have taken plea in the charges intended to be preferred, and that's the ruling of this court.
Now, Kenya aims to improve the education system of seafarers to ensure that it is in full compliance with international standards, a step that will enable seafarers to find more jobs in the world. Speaking at a training conference that brought together stakeholders from different countries, Acting Deputy Director of the Maritime Affairs Organization of the Kenya Maritime Authority, Luke Samba, said that strengthening of education is implemented in parallel with the motivation to push many young people to join maritime studies. On his part, Captain Peter Munga from the Kenya Maritime Organization has assured the sailors of their safety while at sea, while pushing for cooperation with various international nations in strengthening the maritime profession.
Masuala ya ubaharia ndio kwa sasa nchi iko na nafasi nyingi ambazo zinapatikana kule, lakini si nafasi tu ambazo zitaweza kupatikana, ni nafasi ambazo zitapatikana kama mambo yetu ya training, mambo yetu ya certificates, mambo yetu ya wale vijana pia ambao wakiingia kwenye meli wanafanya kazi kwa ujasiri, wanafanya kazi vizuri, wanaweza kujitengezea jina. Watu ambao walikuwa wameajiriwa kutoka Kenya kwenda kwenye meli kufanya kazi hawakuwa wengi, na Kenya ni mojawapo ya nchi ambayo imejipatia jukumu kama serikali kufuatilia kuhakikisha kwamba vijana wanapata kazi kwenye meli. Si nchi nyingi zinafanya hivyo, si nchi nyingi kusema ukweli. Hata zile nchi ambazo zimeendelea sana huwa hazishughuliki na mambo ya mabaria. Wewe unasoma, ukimaliza kusoma jitafutie kazi mwenyewe. Lakini Kenya imeweza kuchukua jukumu hilo, na ukiangalia watu wengi, wawekezaji wale walio na meli, wale ambao wanataka watu wa kufanya kazi kwenye meli, wamekumbatia Kenya kuwa nchi moja ambayo imejitolea sana kwa mambo ya training na certification.
Anayepewa vyeti awe amefuzu kutoka shule ambayo inatambulika na amefunzwa ile syllabus ambayo tunaijua, tumeitambua, na kisha tumepeleka ile report kule International Maritime Organization, na wameikubali kwamba mambo ambayo tunafanya yanalingana na ile STCW code, na kwa hivyo tunaweka kwenye whitelist, na kuweka kwenye whitelist inamaanisha kwamba vyeti vyetu vinatambulika duniani nzima na inaweza kutumika kwenye meli yoyote ambayo ina.
The move by the government to gazette some areas along the West Pokot and Turkana counties as disturbed and to make game reserves has elicited uproar among leaders from the Pokot community. Last week, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki announced the gazettement of Turkana South as a game reserve as a security operations zone to flush out all criminals. The CS also said this will help deal with highway banditry along the Kitale-Lodwar Road. The move has not been well received by Pokot community leaders who say it will create conflict because of the long-standing boundary row among the warring communities. Speaking to the press in Kapenguria, the leaders faulted the issue, saying residents have been in the area for a long time and the area should not be converted into a game reserved and residents moved away.
Hii project kukamilika, tungependa community wenyewe waweze kuistahimili effect of climate change. Kwa mfano, ukiwa na kiangazi na livestock ndio wanategemea sana livestock kwa shughuli zao zote. So tunataka kusema kama saizi livestock wameanza kuhama, je, wale watu watabaki nyumbani wataadhiriwa na njaa na vitu kama hizo. So tunataka kusema katika ile effort community wao wenyewe wajishughulishe, wajifanyie kazi kama maneno ya maji, at least katika manyumba household level. Wamama waanze to small kitchen gardens, waanze kufuga kuku, wengine wafanye maneno ya nyuki, wengine wafanye biashara yao, kuinua biashara. Kuna wengine bado wako kwa biashara, lakini tunasaidia ku scale up ndio waweze ku increase mapato. So ni njia ya kufanya community waistahimili hizi effects za climate change.
Maji. Kwa hivyo tunafurahia tukiwa mama, kwa sababu ni sisi ndio tuko na mzigo mingi ya kushota maji kwa mahali mbali. Tunaenda kung'ang'ana na mandofu, tukishota maji tunafukuswa, na hata wengine wetu wameumia na hata kupoteza maisha. Kwa hivyo maji ikiwa kwa wingi tunaweza pata mahali ambaye mifugo na wanyama watakunywea na mahali ambaye community watatumia.
In an effort to mitigate effects of climate change, more than 20 conservation groups in Laikipia North have received over 67 million shillings to initiate conservation and livelihood improvement projects in the region. The projects initiated by Impact Kenya are meant for restoring resilience, enhancement and support through transformational opportunities and resources for enabling of communities to be self-sustainable. Laikipia North was hard hit by the previous drought, and locals who depend on livestock lost almost everything and are struggling to bring back their herds, where some of the funds will be used to restore degraded land. According to Impact Kenya Program Officer John Tingoi, the communities will be able to do projects that are self-sustaining, including kitchen gardening by women and provision of water at the household level. The invasion of opuntia in the region, which has led to loss of pasture, will also be addressed, where some of the groups will be involved in its eradication and planting of grass.
Kila project iko na activity. Na ukiangalia activity ile iko itakuwa na faida mara mbili. Itakuwa na faida activity, ukipewa kazi ya kufanya hii activity definitely unalipwa. Na hiyo project bado ukimaliza itakuwa na impact. Kwa mfano, kama unasema leo tutatoa ufundia, tutaajiri vijana ya kukata ufundia, tutalipa hawa.
na ikimalizika Uvundia tunapata Nyazi. Kwa hivyo itakuwa na faida ya kasho ama ya kibarua, na itakuwa bado na faida ya nini. Bado kuna pesa kidogo imeenda kwa livelihood. Livelihood inamaanisha sasa hiyo ni ile kuangalia ile wamama, merry go round hiyo kidogo kidogo. So wamama atakuwa akishukua pesa hapa anapea huyu mwingine, kesho wanashukua anapea huyu mwingine. Kwa hivyo mimi nikiangalia kuna maji, project ya maji ambayo county ilikuwa imefanya, lakini ilikuwa bado haijamalizika. Kwa hivyo bado hii imeangaliwa kwa sababu kuna extension ya pipes kwenda kwa individuals ambayo inaenda kwa nyumba. Na wakati itaenda kwa nyumba, kwanza ikielekea kwa nyumba kuna cashiers ya kushimba hiyo pipe. Na ikifika pale kwa nyumba, ule mtu atafungulia pipe pale, na hata ile labor, ile time anatumia kwenda kuchota maji haitakuwa tena. Ile kambuzi yake kidogo ambayo itakuwa goigoi wakati ya kiangazi, anaweza kufunga pale na
Police in Transmara, Narok County have arrested 20 people over the resurgence of chaos along the Nkararo-Enoretet border. According to Narok County Commissioner, pardon me, that's my phone. According to the County Commissioner Isaac Masinde, the multi-agency team bringing together the GSU, RDU and ASTU and non-uniformed officers began flashing out individuals mentioned to be behind renewed skirmishes on Thursday. Masinde said they are also following leads to illegal guns believed to have been used in recent attacks, which have left an unknown number of people with various injuries.
Hata kama wamejificha kwa miwa, we are coming for you. I'm not going back to Narok mpaka nihakikishe hii area iko na usalama ya kutosha. Kama wewe unaona umekosewa sana, uko na haki ya kuenda kotini, lakini kupikana hiyo hapana. Ni jukumu ya serikali kuhakikisha preservation of law and order, and that is why I'm here. Siongee maneno ya mpaka.
In the world of sports, national men's basketball team Moran's hope of winning 2 consecutive matches at the ongoing FIBA African Championships were thwarted after a narrow 63-66 loss to Gabon on Monday. Well, that is where we wrap our news tonight. Thank you for your valuable company and to all those who've been watching us online. Now, for those who are asking about the state of my phone, it is doing quite all right. Apologies for that once again. So allow me to wrap it up at that point. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. Thank you for your company once again. Be sure to join Sami Adika tomorrow at 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. He will be taking you the local dailies as well as what is happening across the country, and an amazing, interesting conversation will be lined up for you tomorrow in the morning as well. Have a wonderful night, will you?